My brother was bad, and I say was not because he's no longer bad, but because he's no longer. To know him was to be negatively affected by his poor choices and his bad habits, but to know him was also to be charged somehow by this magic that just seemed to radiate from him unexplainably. Things happened to my brother that never made sense. It was like he had a connection to the universe and an influence over fate that was impossible to describe unless you knew him personally. Like, when he was 8 years old, he desperately wanted a Grant Hill jersey, but my parents maintained that they couldn't afford to buy him one. One day we went to Goodwill, and my brother in the parking lot announced that he was going to buy a Grant Hill jersey there. My mom gently tried to explain to him that they didn't sell Grant Hill jerseys at thrift stores. So we went inside and we were all looking around, and suddenly my brother approached us with a Grant Hill jersey he'd found, brand new, in his size, for $2, just in the middle of a long row of t-shirts. My siblings, my mother, and I all reacted intensely to this absolutely unbelievable find, but he was totally underwhelmed. Like, he already knew that that Grant Hill jersey was there that day. Or once when Pokemon cards were brand new, I watched my brother look at a long row of Pokemon card packs, and he selected one at random, seemingly, and he announced that it contained a holographic Charizard. When we got to the car, we found that he was right. It did contain a holographic Charizard, but he was completely unimpressed by this jackpot. Like, he just already knew that he was buying a Charizard that day. So when my brother miraculously made it to age 30 despite all of his struggles, I remembered his magic. Like, he didn't use it for trading cards and jerseys anymore, but maybe it was what had been keeping him alive while his friends were dwindling with increasing pace over the years. You know, his magic had never been stronger than his addiction, but it seemed like it was stronger than inevitability, like, until the second it wasn't. And then he was gone. He was only 17 months younger than me, and I don't remember life before him, but now I live in life after him. And my emotions are conflicting, which I think is normal when you love someone like him, but I also think I'm lucky because when I think of him now, the memory I remember most vividly is of the time my sisters and I were sitting at a picnic table discussing how we'd all had babies and we were unhappy with our appearance, and we all thought we could stand to lose a few pounds, and suddenly he sat down next to us and put out his cigarette, and in a very serious tone he said, "Hey, don't ever let anyone tell you you're not perfectly voluptuous." So he was bad, but he was magic and he was inspirational. And if he ever stole anything from you, I'm sorry, but don't ever let anyone tell you you're not perfectly voluptuous.